Welcome, everyone, to the regularly scheduled meeting of the Charter Township of Washington. Today is Wednesday, March 18, 2026. If you'll all stand and please join us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If our clerk, Audrey Brown, could please do roll call.
Nicely.
Here.
Chaplin.
Here.
Mylum.
Here.
Reinhold.
Here.
Stevenson. Praviti.
Present.
Brown, present.
Okay, all present. Next, you see the agenda before you. There's one correction, 12.1. The resolution there is for the Hacks Acres Conservation Fund. Not sure there was a typo there, so we'll fix that. The resolution, I believe, is the same number. It's just an error. Also, just so the board's aware, the budget, we're still finalizing some of the fringe benefits, so that'll be presented at the budget amendment meeting next week. So we'll vote on that next Wednesday. Basically, I'll make a motion to approve with the two noted changes.
Second?
Seconded by Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Next, you'll see the consent agenda. You're being asked to approve the accounts payable of March 12, 2026. Approve the minutes of the Board of Trustee meeting of March 4, 2026. Accept the Building Department monthly report of February 2026. Accept the Robinson Capital monthly report of February 2026. Accept the CoStar license renewal for the Assessing Department. Accept the Planning Commission 2025 annual report. And accept the Fire Department monthly report for January 2026.
Mr. Supervisor, on last week's meetings, the correction on the dollar amount was 10.3 under the BSNA cloud proposal. It says online permitting and inspections in the amount of $115,565. So that amount would have to be updated.
Is that for the minute?
Yes, that's from the minutes from 4th.
Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda with the noted correction on the March 4th minutes. Support. Supported by Stevenson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. We don't have any moved agenda items. Next is a staff report, 7.1. We have Michigan Community Media here to give their annual report on the WBRW, our Channel 6.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. That's me.
You can speak right from there.
I could just sit if you like. Supervisor Praviti, trustees, and neighbors. I'm Paula Tutman, and I have been a board member for WBRW for a little more than a year after 42 years in broadcast journalism. And I know I always say this because it's true. It can't be 42 years because that means I started before I was born. But I retired, it's coming up on 2 years. And I've really been a proud board member of WBRW. When I joined the board, I was stunned by what I saw. An incredible gem, incredible ability, incredible possibilities, talent, excitement, and drive. I saw a station that is fiscally responsible, that serves this community with its talented, enthusiastic staff, as well as the partnership we share with this township. We are synergistic. We're not part of them, but we are of them in a lot of ways. There's something that I want you to understand so that you understand my ask and pardon my back. When you understand our ask to our Board of Trustees. It's very important to us that as our neighbors, you understand where our funding comes from. Not one tax dollar, not one line item from the general fund. Not a millage, none of that. Our funding comes from something that is really referred to as pass-through funds. And what a pass-through fund is specifically the PEG funds or the PEG fees, and you might hear us talking about that. It's public, educational, and governmental fees. These monies are actually provided by the cable companies, and they come to the township for the express purpose to be used by your public access television station, and that's WBRW. And so again, it's important that you understand where our funds come from. It's not tax money. It's money that is actually earmarked and designated for our use because we provide a service. We're not a product. We provide a service. So, our township trustees are the fiduciary of the funds because they pass through our township trustees, not the owners, but the fiduciaries. The funds are earmarked for our use. Under the Michigan Uniform Video Services Local Franchise Act, oh my gosh, I just fell asleep. But that is the act that makes that law that says this is how the funds come to us. And so these fees exist for one purpose, to fund what we do. That's the structure. And that's really, really important for you to understand so that you understand what it is that we're trying to get done. So, when cable is doing well, your nonprofit WBRW station does well. Well, we all know what's going on with cable. You look at your tablets, you watch your phones, you've got streaming services, and in fact, those numbers have dropped nationally by 24 to 64 million households. Now, that's a big span. Why don't we know those numbers? Because cable companies are notoriously and historically greedy and selfish with their numbers. So we don't know exactly what those numbers are. What we do know is because of those pass-through funds, WBRW is going to get less money this year. So that's really important for you to understand that funding and that funding structure. So I want you to take a look at these numbers. So this is what WBRW has been doing. Total produced broadcasts. Government, 71 programs. Community, 48 programs. Sports, 22 programs. Recreation, 30 programs. Podcasts, 18 programs. I also want you to hear this number. Washington Township has about 10,000 households, and we're a growing community. And last month, we had a 30% engagement. 30%. We would have been happy with 5%, and honestly, 10% probably would have knocked us on the floor. But a 30% engagement, and that means people are using our services. That means they need our services, and that means they want our services. Now, last year, we put together a moving forward plan, and we presented it to your Board of Trustees. And that plan is to expand our services, to actually allow us to do more than we are presently doing, to also participate in the growing of our community. Supervisor Praviti, is it something I said?
No, I'm getting more chairs.
Oh. It's like, you know, when the supervisor leaves, that's not good. Okay. Okay, we still have your attention. So that brings us to our people. WBRW staff has not had a meaningful cost of living raise in 10 years. In 10 years. And you may be surprised to know they have never, ever, ever had health care benefits. This is a professional staff. They haven't had a significant cost of living increase, and they do not have access to health care benefits. And we believe that when you take care of your people, they can help take care of the community. And that's part of what I'm here to talk to you about today. So, let me tell you what this organization has been through in the last year. Last April, there was a devastating fire next door, and we were basically booted out of our facility from April all the way till fall. There was also talk of changing the contract, because right now, WBRW is independent and autonomous. And there was actually talk of changing that contract in a way that the township would take over WBRW. We would likely lose employees. Our people didn't even know if they would have jobs. For all intent and purposes, we have not been working on our moving forward plan, which I presented to your trustees, in which they voted a 4-year contract extension so we can get that plan going and grow our platform and increase our services to you, our neighbors. For all intent and purposes, we have not been working on that plan except until fall. Now, Trustee Chaplin said, we want to see what you're doing. What have you been doing for the last couple of months? What have you been doing for the last 4 months? What have you been doing? Well, Trustee Chaplin, I want to know, what on earth can you get done in 4 months? What is it that you can get done when you have a platform like this that we are trying to expand and take care of our employees and make sure that they actually have health care benefits? What can you get done in the last 4 months? I submit to you that we have done more in 4 months with our small staff than many organizations get done in an entire year. And even with those kinds of challenges, we never missed a deadline. And so I can talk about that, but I actually think it would be easier to show you. Hi, I'm Paul Tutman, and this is your WBRW. We've been busy behind the scenes. We've got some new stuff to show you.
At WBRW-TV6, we are moving along at an amazing pace. After the nearby fire, we didn't pause. Building, cleaned. Equipment, restored. Systems, stable. Commitments, not one missed. Now growth. Our new brochure of services is nearly complete. It's bright, colorful, and interactive. And most importantly, it gives you clear information on what we do and creates a roadmap to new revenue streams, clear offerings, competitive pricing, professional delivery, revenue pathways building. Next up, flex space. This is a big deal, and it's next on our list to get done. Podcast studios, interchangeable backdrops, cityscape, office, custom looks, one room, multiple environments. And yes, new content is already coming in.
What are we going to talk about today?
Hope for marriages. Our new web platform, in motion. New promo, on the way.
When you download our free Cablecast app, you'll see Washington Township in brand new goggles. Local government is important, so if you can't make it to the meetings here, we'll take you there. Stay involved, stay informed. This is where local lives.
We are partnering with our Fire Chief for Safety segments. Practical information for our proactive neighbors.
Construction alerts, boil water advisories, breaking info. You get them instantly through our push notifications when you download the app.
4 months in, we're building, we're stabilizing, we're moving forward. And we continue covering civic sessions and community events because that's our core. Stay tuned.
That's your WBRW, and that's what we've gotten done in 4 months. Does that answer your question? Thank you so much. Thank you so much for asking, because it shows that you care, shows that you care about accountability, and we are all about accountability. And so now I have an ask for our trustees and an ask for our neighbors to support this. I'm going to read from my list. So first, we need our annual PEG fee allocation maintained at $270,000, no reduction. This is not an expansion request. This is the floor. This is how we pay our bills. This is how we get this done. And we've been getting it done, again, without raises, without benefits, on a shoestring budget. That's what we've been getting done, and so we ask that we maintain that. Second, we are requesting $45,000 additional in additional funding from the Cable Reserve Fund. So we talked about the PEG fees. So the PEG fees are one thing. The Cable Reserve fees are actually something else. So it's money that's actually put into a fund that accrues interest. And we've never, ever tapped into that fund, ever. It's a rainy day fund. And I submit to you, as I've submitted to our trustees, that we are in a monsoon. And so we need to get to those funds so that we can have our moving forward plan. And again, also help take care of our people. Pardon me. We also need a new director. Our director left last month for a better paying job that actually has health care benefits. And we are not mad at him. We're proud of him. Of course we are. But we also need to get another director who's worth having. And so we need to make sure that our salaries for our people are at par for an organization our size. And they are not. They're actually below par. And yet our people have been here. And they show up every day. And they're talented. And they're creative. And they have, and Eric's like this, yeah, we are. And they have great ideas, and they are all in, and we need to be all in for them. And third, we're requesting up to $85,000 from our cable reserve fund. Again, it's not tax dollars. It's money that is earmarked for the services we happen to provide. So it does not come out of the general fund. It's not coming from you. It's not a millage, it's not a tax. But we're asking for that for up to, and we may not use it all, but we need those funds so that we can offset costs for insurance benefits for our people, for crying out loud, who don't have insurance. We don't think that's okay, and we don't think our neighbors think that's okay. Again, we may not use it all, but it does put us in a position to negotiate packages so that we can keep our people, not lose any more people, and also attract a new director. Again, all of it. Every cent of that will come from PEG funds earmarked for our operations, doesn't touch the general fund, and from the cable fund. Did I get that right, Phyllis? And from the cable fund. And this is the thing that we really want you to know. This is tight. I mean, it is hold your breath tight. Because when we do the math, what we really believe we need is $55,000 from that fund. But we've crunched the numbers, we've looked at those numbers, and we know that being frugal and fiscal, as we have always been, we can get this done with $45,000 from that cable fund, from those PEG fees and the cable fund. Seems like a big package, but again, we are scraping through. This is bare minimum just to bring our people up to par for other organizations our size. The big plans we have, look what we got done in 4 months. Imagine what we can get done in the next year for this 4-year extension. This is the hoorah. This is where we need our trustees and our neighbors to stand with us so that this station can be what it is truly meant to be. It's already a gem. We can make it a bigger gem. I understand that the budget vote has been put off because you've been doing some negotiations and some number crunches, but my ask is the same whether I do it today, tomorrow, or whether I see you at the Kroger at 30 Mile and Van Dyke. The ask is the same, and we're here to take your questions. Thank you. I really appreciate your time and your attention. Thank you so much. And we're here to take your questions.
I do got good news on the insurance part. I had put 80, but today we met with our insurance
Okay.
representative. He can get it down to 30,000. So that's a
Get
huge
out of
savings.
here.
So it's a huge savings.
That is a huge savings. But let me say this. What I'd like to do, though, is let's make sure that we are able to do the ceiling. Again, we might not even need that much. But what we also need to do is we need to be able to negotiate the packages for our employees. But thank you, Supervisor.
Okay.
We appreciate your time and your attention on that. Thank you. We're here. Phyllis, our president of WBRW, is here to answer any questions the audience may have or our trustees may have. And now we're going to put baby in the corner, right? Okay. Any questions?
I do have another recommendation,
Yes, sir.
board here.
Trustee Nicely?
I looked through your expenses,
Yeah.
and it appears that on paper, you're paying township rent,
Yes.
but not a financial transaction
Right.
transfer. So it's just showing as an expense. So I did some research on this for you, and the cable franchise fee, which is recorded through their journals, is the amount of money that the township retains in lieu of rent.
Okay.
Possibly, we could release the cable franchise fees, which is accounted for in 2024, $43,000, and remove that expense liability of rent on the WBRW.
Okay. We'll take it.
Yeah, I know. Hold on, we're not making any decisions.
No, we're not
right
making
now.
this, I'm just
We're not
giving a
making-
suggestion.
Yeah, and we're saying, oh, okay, yeah, if it comes to that, yes.
There's a reason we do that. We build up that fund to help for the maintenance of the building.
Yeah.
This is the first year we don't have any real maintenance, so Plant Moran's not recommending we do that. I already asked, but that's an option, of course, if the board so chooses, but I'd rather not play with that personally, but that's,
So,
I think the savings on the insurance offsets that. We're good.
but we appreciate the suggestion, and we really appreciate the support. That says that you support what we're doing and what we're trying to get done. So thank you, Treasurer Nicely. We appreciate that.
I think at the last time we talked, last month's meeting, we talked a little bit about the objectives that the Board of Directors of Michigan Community Media came up with. Yeah, would you pass those out for me, thanks, so I don't have to walk. And we planned very hard before Matt left. He worked on these, and he and I came up with these objectives, which she's passing out for you to see.
Do we have this to put up on the screen by chance?
No.
I didn't know you were behind me.
I'm sorry. Boo.
They are all strategic moves that we plan to make over the next year or year and a half to try to increase income from other than the PEG fees and to rebrand the station itself. Whether we change the call letters or not will be up to the township. We are willing to do that if that's what you choose. But I think it's very important that you know that what we're looking at and what we're working on very strongly to get accomplished within the next year or year and a half. And of course, all of these things will take some funding in some manner, and that's why we are asking for the additional funds, is to try and get these objectives met to stabilize our future. And if you have any questions about that, if you want me to go through with them, I will. I'll give you just the general
We should for the audience.
objective. First one is to finalize a total review and agreement to our contract. We discussed before last year about having to rewrite our contract to meet the changes that both you as a board and our board would like to see in the contract. That's number one. Number two is a diversification and financial sustainability. Again, we're looking for other ways to bring in funds. And there's actually two objectives that are for that. The second one is looking for grant funding, making a bigger effort. We have always watched for it, but now we're going to set up a specific committee simply to be looking for grant money. The next one is to create new and updated website and establish links to Washington's Township's website and to direct residents to WBRW from there. We have already spoken to our website developer. We have pricing from him, and he's just waiting for us to decide what we want. And the board itself, again, I have established a committee to decide on what changes we want to the website. The next one is regarding programming, communication, and civic engagement. We are, as you saw, we have created a new brochure, still needs a little tweaking, but we are going to establish an online brochure so that people can see our services and what they might cost should they choose to use them. The next is
Page 6.
on page 6 is roles and local coverage. We're going to align the staff responsibilities with proactive civic-based coverage. That committee is all of the staff members and with a leader of Paul D'Angelo, who's been with us for many years. Excuse me, page 7 is a rebranding in the public identity. Now again, whether, if you want to change the call letters, which we talked about a couple times, we will do that in your direction. If not, we still need to push forward on getting new branding, new T-shirts, new
Logoing.
tangible handouts and things like that to try and spread our name throughout the township and even outside the township. And then a community presence and visibility. Reintroduce WBRW to the community through direct engagements like attending HOA meetings or attending group meetings and explaining who we are and what we do. And trying to get those organizations to use our services. So those are our goals, and we're working real hard at them. As Paula said, we've gotten a lot accomplished in 4 months, and I think that we can accomplish these very easily with the effort we're going to put forth.
And the funding.
And the funding.
Also, too, if you have to find a way for those pictures that are on there, this month alone, you had 155,482 visits to that site. Maybe you can find a way to draw more people to that.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's our goal. The guys have been working real hard to come up with new ideas and plans. We've already started, as Paula mentioned, the
Flex space.
Flex space. We have one space right now totally dedicated that is flexible already. We can move it, but we're going to do more than that because podcasts seem to be the thing nowadays, and that a lot of people want to partake in. So we're going to try to make as many kinds of sets as we can, different backdrops, etc., so that anybody who wants to do a podcast, we can give them the space to do that.
Well, thank you very much.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. Paula, you were saying that you were asking for, you spoke of 45,000 and 85,000?
Well, it sounds like it's not 85,000 now.
But it could, that was for the insurance,
Yes.
correct? And you wanted to keep the 270 for the PEG fees the
Yes.
same? But you needed an additional 45,000 plus 85.
Roughly 30.
Or maybe 30, so we're talking 75,000. And then these items that you passed out today,
Say that again?
the items that you
Yeah.
talked about today, most of them are to be completed by December 31st, 26.
I think these are part of that money increase.
Are they
Yes.
included in
Yeah.
that? They're included, they're not in addition?
No, correct.
No.
Correct. These are, so this is our priorities list. So we put together the moving forward plan for you last year, and we're not doing it willy-nilly. We actually have created a tree and a priorities list so that we know what we need to be attacking first to get done. And that's what that is.
Yeah, it's from that additional 45,000.
Doesn't add up to 45.
No.
It's like it's just
Well, they got other expenses.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, there-
As the numbers are.
We don't know
Okay,
what getting a new director is going to cost at this point.
okay.
And we also need to give, again, and I do want to be clear,
Right.
because we're about people, because our people also help our community. We've got to get our people up to par for an organization our size, and that comes out of that tranche as well.
Anything else?
So-
Anybody?
How much is in that fund we haven't touched?
About
570,000.
570.
Okay. Thank you all very much for your
Thank
time
you.
and your
Thanks
attention.
for-
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you.
Okay.
And I'm going to excuse myself. I have another meeting to get to. Thank you so very much, everyone. Thank you for
There's
your
a
support.
chair
I
up
hope we have
front
your
if anybody
vote.
wants it.
Yes, free share.
Okay, thank you. Next is comments from the audience on agenda items at this point. Each comment, you'll be given 3 minutes. Again, please direct all comments to the board here, the chair. It's not a question and answer session, it's more of a comment, so please feel free, if you guys want to make a line, you can speak at the podium, state your name and address, you have 3 minutes, WBRW will throw the clock up.
Good evening. John Tarlow. I live near Reed and Romeo Plank Road in Armada Township. I want to start by acknowledging the board and Planning Commission's efforts in reviewing ordinances. I have no doubt that our commissioners are dedicated and highly capable in their professional roles. However, after last week's meeting of the Planning Commission, I was left with a distinct sense of hesitation, and I believe it's time to address that directly. The reality is that high energy intensive developments, or HIDEs, represent a level of industrial complexity that exceeds the standard scope of municipal planning. We are in highly specialized territory. Recognizing where general planning ends and specialized engineering begins is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of professional integrity in the expectations of the residents and the surrounding communities. I am recommending that this board move past the hesitation and direct the Planning Commission to hire experts. You shouldn't just be reacting to the applicant brings you. You must use experts to proactively set the ceiling on what is allowed in the township. I highly encourage the board minimally focus on these considerations. A HIDES operations consultant or specialist. You need to understand the holistic impact and requirements HIDES establish, measurable caps on site intensity, utility resource draw before a developer approaches us. You need a consultant who can define holistic, maximum operational impacts the community can sustain. You don't have an expert to set these preemptive boundaries, you are essentially letting the industry dictate capacity. Environmental and infrastructure subject matter experts. A HIDE can be a 24/7 industrial event. You must establish scientific, defensible performance standards for acoustics and lighting, setting firm limits on constant low-frequency sound and nighttime lighting profiles that are enforceable at residential property lines. Resource preservation, capping high-volume water consumption and discharge to protect our local aquifers. Ambient impacts, strictly regulating the atmospheric and environmental exhaust allowed within our borders. Finally, financial assurance and risk mitigation experts. You need an expert to structure ironclad financial assurances. Local infrastructure was not built for this intensity of use. You must proactively mandate caps, bonding, and decommissioning terms so that the burden of specialized industrial shall never fall on the Washington Township or local community taxpayers. The bottom line, expertise is not a luxury in this scenario. It's the cornerstone of a legally defensible ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have acoustical engineer on there, that's why they can talk. Anyone else would like to talk? You guys can form a line if you want.
All right. Good evening. My name is Laura Gutnick. I live at 35 in Van Dyke. I'm from Bruce Township. My family moved to this quiet rural community for its non-heavy industrial character. These ordinances are important to us because we live on a well, and we've invested in our home and our property, and our family wants to stay in this community. I have 2 engineering degrees from Kettering University and 10 years of designing assembly lines in multiple factories in the automotive industry. In engineering, before you write a single rule, you begin with an analysis. You ask 5 questions. What is this process doing? What could go wrong? How bad would this be? How likely is it to happen? And how would you even detect it? You are being asked to write ordinances before you have answered any of these questions, the Planning Commission. It feels completely unfair to everyone in this community, but here we are. We have to ask the hard questions now, because if we don't ask the questions like what chemicals are on site and in what volumes, what does the slow underground leach into a residential well look like, and how would we detect it before it creates a health crisis? What happens to the batteries and electronics replaced at rapid speed, and where do they go? If these details are not understood and every gap filled, it won't be the consultants who are paying the price, it'll be our families in the community. My well is my family's water supply, and I don't want to be talking about my children's fertility or cancer risks in 10 years because we haven't asked the hard questions today. To answer these questions properly, you need experts who understand all different types of data centers, different cooling systems, different power sources, different waste streams. That likely means more than one expert. Because this is a brand new and moving target, I urge you to find legal and planning experts who have specifically written and won ordinances against hyperscale data center developers and their big law firms. Because while today's conversation is about data centers, it could be any large industry knocking on our door tomorrow. In automotive, if the team skipped the analysis, your senior engineer would stop the entire project. It's time to do the analysis of data centers in detail because you don't know what you don't know yet. And writing ordinances around incomplete information doesn't protect anyone. It just creates the appearance of protection. When I started my career, I never walked into an important meeting alone. I always had experienced senior engineers beside me, people who won the contracts, built successful controls, and knew where the risks were hiding. I'm asking three things along with others, the requests of others in the community. I'm asking the board to bring in data center-specific experts, multiple, to write the ordinances alongside the township team. I'm also asking that you bring in legal and planning consultants who have won against data center developers specifically. And I'm asking that you require your current team to work alongside those experts, not instead of them. Every line of this ordinance should be informed by someone who has seen it inside of a data center or someone who has prevented one from being built in multiple communities. The risk of getting the ordinances wrong is too high for the community. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, my name is Rosemary Gould of Bruce Township. I'd like to address several concerns I have regarding the proposed center and its effect on our community. Would there be a decommissioning plan in place in the event that the center closes at some point in the future? Will there be a generator testing, and how frequently because of pollutants they give off during the process? It's my understanding if they use diesel engines, they give off large amounts of pollutants. Will the township require escrow funds from the applicant? Example, decommissioning costs, potential fire department training and/or equipment, additional administrative work, and inspections. What kind of cooling and wastewater system do they intend on using? How many applications are currently in the works? A lot of townships in Michigan have a 1 to 2 year moratoriums, so more research can be conducted. Is there any reason that we would be in a hurry to make this important decision? I believe Bruce and Washington are called sister township. Bruce Township does have a moratorium. Does an existing fire department have the proper equipment, training, and manpower to safely and effectively neutralize a fire event at the proposed site? If not, what is the cost to get the proper equipment, training, manpower in place, and who will incur the cost? According to the post by the Washington supervisor, Sam Pravetti, on Facebook, he stated the township tax dollars are planned regarding supporting and evaluating as part of any development review. Please elaborate. What budget line item is designated for this funding? Does this mean there is a surplus of tax dollars available to fund these expenses, or is it implied that there will be a need to increase our taxes to fund the additional services? Regarding public safety, does the township currently have the resources in place to adequately handle any other safety issues beyond fire that may arise within or around the proposed data center? If not, what is the cost of procuring these resources, and who will bear the cost? I realize this is also new and on uncharted territory, and we need to be mindful and err on the side of caution. By that I mean this is all new to many townships within Michigan. They may be relying on what happens in Washington Township to set a precedent for this type of application. There are just a lot of unknowns, and we are asking that you are very diligent in writing ordinances to protect the residents. On March 15th, I emailed Lisa McLean, our federal representative for the 9th Congressional District, and to date have not received a response. I also emailed her again March 18th. Has anyone on the Township Board had any discussion with her about our data center concerns? If not, why not? If yes, what are her thoughts? I think it's important to know if she is for or against the facility. What do council members think are the positive attributes of the proposed data center for the residents of Washington Township?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My husband's going to finish mine.
That's fine. You can speak.
Hi, my name is Mike Gould. A couple of additional concerns that I've been asked to speak about here. It's also worth noting that the amount of energy required to power an average data center can be equal to the power required for 15,000 to 25,000 homes. This number may be increased to over 100,000 homes depending on the size of the center. Is our electric grid able to handle that size demand? If not, a new or upgraded infrastructure will need to be put in place. That cost will be passed on to all utility customers in the surrounding service areas. How are we addressing that concern? I cannot commit to opposition or favoritism to this proposal until due diligence and fact-finding have taken place on the part of our elected officials. I strongly encourage the Township Board and the Planning Commission to table this matter until more conclusive finding presents themselves. So that kind of dovetails into what I wanted to say in regards to the data center. I want to speak clearly and respectfully about the proposed data center. Here's what I believe. Number one, this is not aligned with the township's character. This proposal would convert over 300 acres into a large-scale industrial site. This is a significant and permanent shift away from the residential and rural characteristics the residents of Washington Township have chosen and invested in. Number two, we still do not have firm enforceable details on energy demand, water usage, noise levels, or long-term operational impacts. Approving a project of this scale without that clarity puts the township in a reactive position rather than a responsible one. Three, the benefits to residents are limited. Data centers typically generate very few permanent jobs. The economic return to the community is modest compared to the scale of land and resources that we are committing. Number four, the impacts are long-term and local. Continuous operation means ongoing noise, lighting, and infrastructure demand. These are not temporary construction impacts. They are permanent conditions for nearby residents. Number five, once rezoned and approved, the township may have limited ability to adapt or impose additional protections later. This decision does not just affect the project, it sets a precedent. Number six, the community has a concern over this, obviously. There's a large number of residents who have taken time to show up and voice concerns. The level of engagement reflects how significant this issue is to the people that are represented by you. Number seven, importantly, this is a one-way decision. Once this land is developed in this way, it cannot realistically return to its previous use. This makes the decision especially important to get it right. In closing, this is not about opposing progress, it's about making sure progress is appropriate, transparent, and truly beneficial to the community.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Holly Bishop. I live at 33 in Powell, which is 1 mile from the proposed data center location. As a human that cares deeply for others and as an occupational therapist that is passionate about helping others restore their quality of life, I stand up here to continue to bring attention to the impacts of a hyperscale data center and how it can affect our health, safety, and well-being, thus affecting our quality of life. Many people continue to come forward reporting how their lives have been negatively affected with the constant hum, water depletion and contamination, particulate matter on residents' property, poor air quality, traffic, and road destruction. Not to mention the cancer, respiratory, hearing, and memory diagnoses along with trouble sleeping and concentrating, miscarriages, wildlife running out, and the killing of honeybees and pollinators. We learn a new way hyperscale data centers destroy communities daily. So thank you so much for working to protect us and our home by looking into and hiring the requested experts to educate and clear up any misinformation that may be circulating. Something I love about the board is that they provide grants and host fundraisers for children in need of the strength from this community. It really is so beautiful watching strangers come together and help. So I know you care. I'm sure you care about the children's health and their ability to sleep at night and concentrate in school during the day. And I'm sure you really do care about their future, whether they're your children, grandchildren, friends, neighbors, family. People are vulnerable to these centers. AI hyperscale data centers emit e-waste, carcinogenic waste, dangerous toxins, and EMF radiation. These centers use large amounts of constant electricity, producing high levels of low-frequency magnetic field levels of EMF, affecting workers and nearby population, which are residents, I'm 1 mile away, of all ages, students, teachers, associates, of all the businesses that line that area, elderly in the nursing homes, wildlife, livestock, and pollinators. If we're not breathing in the chemicals, we'll be ingesting them through our crops. Again, I keep saying it, the body does not absorb chemicals well and will result in diseases and diagnosis, and unfortunately could lead to death. I've been speaking with so many residents these past few months whom are a variety of ages and in different walks of life, but they all had one thing in common. They don't want this. Please be the hero and prevent debilitating several towns. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
Ordinances only, though, right? Ordinances only.
Chris Judich, 31 Mile, and pretty much Van Dyke and Powell. So I kind of go off the cuff here. So last time I spoke about, the importance of getting, the proper experts with hyperscale data centers specifically. Looking into it more, and I kind of realized something. The discharge, let's say if there's a closed loop system from this data center, it's going to be discharged with glycol, right? That's how they, keep it from freezing. That's going to go into our new water treatment facility, which is directly behind my property. So from there, we cannot handle PFAS as far as, filtering them out. That's a huge issue for me because now that will actually get discharged into the Healy drain, which goes right through my property. So not only will it go to the water treatment center behind, we can't handle that. It's going to go into the Healy drain, which goes through my property. Highly concerning if toxic chemicals are going into my groundwater, into my stream, and into my pond where I have stock with fish, right? So that's a big problem for me. From the Healy drain, it can go into the Clinton watershed. So downstream, the PFAS can really contaminate, a lot more people than just my property specifically. But I'm trying to keep this more personal because that's, how I feel. A lot of people are going to say, oh, you guys are, PFAS are kind of everywhere already. Sound is not that big of a deal. But from my perspective, health and fitness is number one, okay? If you don't have your health, you really don't have anything. My kids never had fast food, for example. They never drank pop before. For me, health is super important. So for me to, allow chemicals to possibly be contaminated onto my land and say, hey, it's acceptable. Well, for me, it's not, okay? Health is number one. If I have to sit here and say, what's an acceptable level of toxins in my groundwater or acceptable level of noise where my kids can sleep soundly at night, this is all just way too personal for me. So I really want you guys to do the right thing and get the right experts that can have expertise with something of this magnitude. A hyperscale data center, totally new beast. We need someone specialized for that. And they can consult then with an energy expert, with an acoustics expert, with a water expert of how to get rid of these contaminants from, let's say, closed loop system. So I'm just really trying to be more personal and let you guys know that, it's really hits home for me because, it's going to directly affect my quality of life, and I won't be able to stay at this property if, this thing goes through. So please keep that into consideration. I'm not reading from a script. It's really, this is very important to me and to my family and to, all my friends. So I appreciate your time and keep up the good work. I know it's a lot. I know it's for you guys to deal with as well, but I would rather be at the gym working out right now, but we're here every week, doing something, trying to keep everybody up to speed. Right, yeah, right? So yeah, I appreciate you guys, but, please understand that, we really care about this, and, it's for a good reason.
Well, thank you.
Hi, my name is Camille Allensworth. Sorry, not doing great, having migraine right now, so kind of shaky and not making sense, so I'm going to do my very best. I just want to echo what Chris is talking about with the water. There was a recent study from Clean Wisconsin, which is an organization there, about the level of water that is used from different types of data centers and their cooling. And at the very best case scenario, the data center size that is expected on this property, the very lowest that would be drawn is 11.9 million gallons a day. So I do understand that we have, our engineer, but that is that's the very lowest, and the highest, 809 million gallons per day. So if this is not a level that, I don't know what industrial uses use now, but if this is beyond that, then that's just the, justification for why we would expect someone who has more experience with large scale facilities like that magnitude. And then if I have not data center, but other agenda items, I can talk now, right? Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to address the proposal for the camera upgrades or the camera changes. I understand that the cameras were upgraded in 2020, and I understood that those have been very useful and helpful. I wonder, I know this isn't Q&A, but I hope when you get to that point in the agenda, I hope that this is discussed. What is the purpose of the upgrade? What's wrong with the cameras now? I saw that they're being changed for AI cameras, and I wonder what is the goal of implementing AI in this capacity? I'd like for y'all to talk with each other about what are the protections that are going to be in place to ensure the data safety and integrity. So anytime you're collecting data, you then are responsible for that. And as we're collecting, pictures of people and adding those to a database that's used by AI, you're responsible for what happens with that. What protections, said that, sorry. How will data breaches be communicated to the community? So as we're gonna be coming here to vote, we're all gonna be videoed. How will we be told when there is a data breach? Can individuals request that their data be removed? Will there be human oversight in that data review? Who will have access to this? A lot of communities sell this data. Are you going to be selling the data that you're collecting from the AI cameras? Thank you.
Nice job.
Anybody else? Okay, hearing none, I'll close. Anybody? You sure? You can come up.
Hello, my name is Darlene. I live at 7870 Firestone Lane, and I've been a resident here for over 30 years. And I did some research today, kind of internet researching, and I've come across a few different things, I guess just to bring them to your attention, is one of the, I think, first of all, there are over 30 proposed sites in the state of Michigan. for data centers. I don't know if anyone knew that or not, but 34. And they're all in excess of 280 acres of property. Matter of fact, one of them, well, we know Saline Township is 575 acres, 575, and Auburn Hills, they have quite a few existing data centers, but what happens now with their area is that the floodgates are open for the expansions that they can do now, which is kind of a scary thing. And the other, this was an interesting thing. Eagle, Michigan, I don't know if anyone is aware of where that is. It's just west of Lansing. They were going after this small little farm community and wanting to take up 1,200 acres for a mega site there. I think it was not necessarily a data center, but it was a mega site. And that township won. They won. And I have pictures, and it looks just like this. It's just ordinary people in a very small community of maybe 7,000, and they did it right. They got their act together, and they did their research, and they brought in their experts, and they revised the master plans, and they really did a great job to keep their community as is. When you think about 34 or possibly 30 mega sites, whether it's battery storage or data centers, it's kind of scary for the state of Michigan. I can't even imagine what will happen to our water here. I mean, our water, our land, I just can envision, that there's not going to be, all these beautiful, they're targeting, obviously, the communities with a lot of land, a lot of country land, and it just changes the community. So if you have a chance, look up Eagle, and they did that in 2024. It was a 2-year battle. So they started a long time ago. So anyways, that's all I have to say for right now. I just hope...
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yep, thank you.
Any other comments? Going once? Going twice? Okay. Next is legal counsel. We have a request here for authorization to retain engineering consultant to advise and make recommendations to the Township Planning Commission and Board of Trustees regarding zoning ordinance regulations. I'll turn it over to Bob.
Yeah, I sent the Township Board an email on Thursday of last week. As the board is more than aware, the Planning Commission had its first meeting last Thursday to start evaluating the terms and conditions of the existing ordinance with respect to data centers. And as no surprise, as part of that process, it's going to be necessary to retain experts. We have certain experts already on staff, but one of the experts that we recommend be retained is an engineer with a specialty in acoustics. And I have spent a substantial amount of time making this recommendation throughout the course of my practice. I hire engineers regularly in defense of all sorts of land use litigation matters, and I deal with engineers regularly. But it was not enough to simply have a civil engineer weigh in on it. I am recommending that the board retain, and I have sent the curriculum vitae for Darren Brown. Mr. Brown is at K&S Engineering. He is not only a professional licensed engineer, but he is board certified in noise control engineering and has been certified since 2008. He has been involved and is currently involved in providing specialized expertise for certain municipalities throughout the state, one in particular for a data center that's in excess of 1.8 million square feet. I've spoken with Mr. Brown on several occasions. I've discussed with other very large engineering firms the retention of Mr. Brown. He comes highly recommended. He is more than qualified to assist the Planning Commission in evaluating the provisions of our ordinance and making recommendations regarding provisions which will strictly apply to data centers and will address the noise and vibration concerns that are attendant with those sorts of uses. His proposal is in your packet. I am requesting authority for up to $10,000 at this point. As work is done, I will obviously work with the supervisor, and if it turns out that we're going to need to spend more money than that, we'll bring it back to the board. But at this point, that's my recommendation. And parenthetically, this is not the last expert we're going to retain. This was the first meeting that the Planning Commission had to address these issues. We already have our consulting engineer on staff, as well as our DPW superintendent, who knows more about our infrastructure and our water system than any expert that we could retain. We also have a highly qualified planning consultant that will weigh in on the zoning and planning issues. But as we go through the process, there may be instances in which the Planning Commission will seek out other experts in the area of fire service and things of that nature, and we'll take them one at a time. The applicant, as you know, has put off the rezoning request until June, and I am fairly confident that they will not proceed with the rezoning request until this ordinance is in place. So I think the applicant is going to give the Township Planning Commission ample time to get it right, and then once those regulations are in place, they will come back. So that's my recommendation.
Attorney Siebert, I was wondering, how long does Mr. Brown think it could take to do all these evaluations? Is there a time frame?
Well, at this point, Audrey, he's not doing any evaluations of any specific use because there's no specific use on the table.
Okay.
Remember, at this point, all we have before us is an application to rezone property.
Correct.
Okay? If the rezoning is ultimately denied, then we don't have to worry about it unless and until the developer proceeds further with a judicial challenge. If the property is rezoned, and we don't know what the Planning Commission is going to do. The rezoning request that they are making now may or may not be the rezoning district in which data centers will be permitted. There could be a new zone created. There could be an overlay zone. We don't know any of that. They could put it in a heavy industrial district. We don't know that. So one of the first items on the Planning Commission's agenda will be, where do these belong? And once that is decided, then at some point in the future, the township may expect to receive an application for a facility. When that facility comes in, they will have to satisfy the requirements and provisions of the new ordinance. We are going to now use Mr. Brown to help us put together the provisions in the ordinance which will deal with what sort of submissions will a data center have to provide to the township before they can become eligible to build. He will tell us exactly what the noise issues are, what the vibration issues are. He is dealing with this in other communities. Again, he is board certified in this. He's been doing this for almost 20 years at board certified. And that is his specialty. And he will tell us what sorts of unique characteristics data centers have that are different from other industrial uses. This is not an Amazon facility. It's not a Ford Motor Parts facility. It's a data center. It comes with unique issues. That's what he's going to advise the Planning Commission on. Once they're in place, that ordinance will come to the Township Board for final approval or revision. Once ultimately approved, then you can expect that you're going to get an application. When an application comes in, there's going to be a flow chart that this applicant is going to have to satisfy. They're going to have to go through engineering, through water and sewer. They're going to have to go through fire. They're going to have to go through building. They're going to have to go through acoustics issues. And at that point, it's likely that we will bring Mr. Brown back to assist us in the review of that application. And if there's other experts that we find along the way that we need, I will come back and recommend that you hire them.
Is there an advantage? Mr. Brown is going to charge no more than, not to exceed $10,000. Is there an advantage to having a second expert work with him? Is there an advantage to that?
No, you don't need, quantity doesn't matter, quality matters. When I'm defending land use litigation, I have 4 or 5 different experts I hire. I get one of each, and I get the best ones that I can walk into a courtroom that are bulletproof, that have credentials that cannot be attacked by the opponent, that the judge will qualify as an expert. Mr. Brown, we don't need to spend double the amount of money on 2 experts. We've got one here that is eminently qualified to assist us. Having 2 experts makes no sense to me. I mean, you can get all the experts you want, but at the end of the day, you've got to get somebody that you trust and that's qualified. What I'm saying to you is, he's qualified and he's highly recommended.
I was wondering if we can expand it, that if I could get board approval that until waiting to the next meeting, if I want to hire another expert, let's say in fire or whatever, if I could get some sort of approval from the board so I don't have to wait to the next meeting and then bring it back to the meeting.
That's what I was alluding to, because Attorney Siebert, you said that should we find out that we need another expert, then we would bring another one on. So I was sort of alluding to that. If we think we need another one.
Well, I have talked to Chief Tyrell, as I believe your planning consultant, and Mr. Kozak from Giffords Webster has also talked to the chief. We may very well recommend an expert in the fire services to come in and also assist in the zoning ordinance provisions with what sort of requirements they will have to satisfy in that area. But the Planning Commission's meeting is only 5 days old. They're just getting started.
Okay.
So there's no urgency to get a whole list of experts. Let's go ahead.
No, I don't want to be shackled to the next meeting if I want to hire someone to get the ball rolling.
That's fine. Who do you want to hire?
I'm just saying, as they come along, and then I bring it back to the board after to let them know that we hired them.
If the board wants to give you...
some sort of a latitude.
Certainly, if the board wants to...
If the board's okay with that, I don't know.
If you want to give the supervisor authority to spend up to X, that's great. All I want to do now is get one of the most important experts on board. But if there's other experts, Sam, that you need, say it now.
Well, I'm saying like the fire expert, I know we're talking to him. I'd like to get him on board next.
But we don't have...
And of course, I've got other ideas and suggestions I've been receiving, but...
Sam, quick question. Isn't there an amount of money that you can spend without coming to the board?
We can go up to 10, the three of us, kind of, I guess.
So maybe we say...
I mean, if I could get like an up to 10, I'd be comfortable.
Since this first expert's going to be not to exceed 10, maybe we say, okay, if you have to do it, make it happen.
And then I bring it back to the board the following meeting.
Right,
But with an issue like this, I don't think that the three of us would want to.
No, I'd feel more comfortable if the board gave us some latitude to do that.
Approve it, I think.
I'm comfortable, 100% comfortable with presenting a motion and voting for us to be able to do that for you.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still bring it back to the board, obviously.
I want to thank the legal department for getting ahead of us on this and for guiding us on this and going above and beyond.
Well, we are definitely going to get the experts that we need, but I caution the board, at this point, it is before the Planning Commission. They are very qualified. You've got already 3 or 4 experts on staff that know the system better than anybody. And as we move along and we now bring in an acoustics expert, we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the ordinance and the discussion unfold at the Planning Commission level. If we need someone in the environmental area, if we do, we need you can't just pick them out of a box. You've got to have,
I didn't suggest that at all.
I know that, but you've got to have a proposal. You've got to look at their curriculum vitae and see what their qualifications are. You want somebody to assist you that if this ends with a lawsuit at the end and they have to defend your ordinance, you got to have somebody that helped you out, that you can get qualified when you walk into a courtroom, and there's requirements for that. And you can do it on your own if you want, but I'd like to sort of see these people so I can tell you whether or not they could get qualified or not.
We need you.
Well, I don't...
You know I'm working with you. I just don't want to wait another month to approve something.
That's fine.
That's all I'm asking.
That's totally fine. As long as we get Mr. Brown on board, you can hire whoever you want.
I mean, I feel like it should be 2 separate motions, though. But.
And his curriculum vitae is very impressive. He's worked with different data centers. He has. So I don't object to that, but I agree with Supervisor Praviti that we could need someone else, and we don't want to.
Then up the amount of money that Sam is or the executive committee is authorized to spend without coming back. But get me the money to hire Mr. Brown so he can get on board and start working and be up to speed on this ASAP.
I think the way that probably makes the most sense at this point is, our planning consultant, Kayla, is the one that is coordinating all of the development of the ordinance and, for the planning commission. So
yeah, I'm aware of that.
I understand, but we have this expert in line that we need. She knows what pieces she's putting in place first. She would probably be the person to talk to. She knows what's been discussed at the planning commission.
We know, we've talked, that's why we might need a fire person next, and I want to get it approved now.
Consult her. And
yeah, I know, I talked
get
every day.
And get the recommendations from there and then bring it to the board if necessary.
Okay.
But we're circling the drain. Supervisor Praviti had an ask. He wants us to say yes to that, and I'm agreeable to his ask.
I mean, let's make two separate motions right now.
So I'd like to make a motion to bring Mr. Brown on board, not to exceed $10,000, and consult with Counselor Siebert on the data center.
Support. Okay, so we have a motion by Nicely, supported by Stevenson, to hire the acoustical engineer, Mr. Brown. No relation to Audrey Brown?
Nope. Not a browser.
If no questions, roll call.
Nicely.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Praviti.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Chaplin.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed.
Second one is I'd like to authorize the supervisor along with the executive team to hire one additional one if needed, not to exceed $10,000 by consulting with Counselor Siebert and.
One additional what?
Well,
TBD.
I would just.
You mean just another 10,000 for an expert in an additional field if we need one?
If we need one, yes.
If needed.
Just like, so Sam doesn't have to wait another 30
Yes.
days.
I got it.
We got it, yep.
Okay, so that's a motion by Nicely,
Second.
seconded by Brown. If no questions, roll call.
Nicely.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Reinhold.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Praviti.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. Thank you, everyone. So stay tuned. Our next Planning Commission meeting is April 9th, 6:30. Next is public hearing. I'd like to make a motion to open public hearing to discuss the proposed MDNR Land and Water Conservation Fund, the LWCF grant application for Hawks Acres. That's my motion.
Second.
Seconded by Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, all in favor? Public hearing is now open. Well, I'll let Keila explain it, and then, sorry, I opened it before she spoke.
You're okay. Give me just a second.
I wanted to make sure we got the formality. Once Kayla, our planner, presents this, the public's welcome to come up, and if they have any questions on this, those are public hearing. This is the property that the township purchased a few years ago. It's 27 acres on Mound, just north of 29 Mile Road.
It's processing.
That's process.
It's exciting.
I'll go ahead and get started. A lot of this presentation will look familiar. We were here just a month ago to introduce the overall concept plan for Hawks Acres. The motion before you today is for a resolution. I recognize that the incorrect resolution was placed in the packet. So I also have the resolution here that we can review. And if the board's comfortable, we hope that we can still move forward for that application date. So as a reminder, for those of the public that are here for the public hearing, this is a 27-acre former equestrian farm purchased by Washington Township in 2023. It was owned by the Hoxie family for several generations. There are 18,000 square feet of house and barn space on the site. Washington Township approached Spalding DeDecker a few months ago to work on some stakeholder engagement and prepare a conceptual site plan to give an overarching vision for Hawks Acres so that we can then move forward for grant application funding. So anyone who hasn't seen this site, it's out on Mound Road. It is, again, it was a working farm. It has an old farmhouse on it that was built in the 1800s, along with a main barn and several pole building outstructures. And then the back 10 acres of the property were farmed and are kind of remaining in that crop production. So again, quick recap, because I know you guys have heard this spiel from me many times, but we did do a lot of engagement around the master plan for Hawks Acres. We started with the 5-year Parks and Recreation Plan that was just recently completed for Romeo, Bruce, and Washington Township. And then we had several partner meetings with Romeo Community Schools, with the Parks and Recreation Director and Parks Commission, with Macomb County staff, and also with the Huron-Clinton Metro Park staff to understand what kind of programming could fit on this site, what the maintenance needs would be, and what amenities are lacking from these communities. What were the gaps that we could fill on this site? We had several site visits with project leads, and then we had a public event at the tree lighting for Washington Township where we did a lot of poster board engagement and posted an online survey that people could participate in if they were unable to attend the event. So quick recap again of what we learned. From the township's end, we understood a need to preserve agricultural heritage and the history of this site, and also connect it to existing trails and open it up for that public recreational use. And there was also a desire to partner with Parks and Recreation for programming and maintenance of the site long term. From Parks and Recreation, we understood that they had a need for indoor gym and court space, which they weren't able to satisfy on other properties. They also had identified a need for universally accessible playgrounds. So those are playgrounds that are designed for all ages and abilities within the community. And then finally, they wanted to partner with Washington Township for site planning, landscape architecture, and engineering work because they don't have that staff on hand. And then from a resource availability side, we spent a couple months looking at funding opportunities and potential partners on this site. We've identified a few and are obviously here today to talk about a particular grant application that we want to submit for phase 1. But we are still working with Romeo Community Schools. We have students within the High School Academies program who are designing specific elements of this plan. We've also talked to Macomb County about their available programs for trees and landscaping and tapping into some of their connections with MSU Extensions and the Michigan Department of Agriculture as well. We're actively working with the Barn Preservation Network, tapping into their network of experts in farm structure restoration and education around historic farm buildings. And then we are continuing to look for those additional funding opportunities, recognizing that what we're presenting today, while extensive, is just phase 1 of this project, and there are several site amenities that the community is interested in that won't be able to be funded in this first phase. I just wanted to share again, this was some of the poster board engagement that we got back from that December tree lighting event. The top 5 things that we heard from residents was interest in that playground equipment, and again, particularly the accessible playgrounds, walking and cross-country skiing trails, butterfly and pollinator gardens were really popular, in addition to outdoor fire pits, and finally a dog park. I think these things probably are not surprising to you because you hear them many times in a month or a year. From your community members. So again, we started big, and the idea here was that we have 27 acres to work with. We wanted to take Washington Township's wish list, the wish list of Parks and Recreation as identified through their parks plan and in conversations with staff and the Parks Commission, and understand what we could do with this site to kind of achieve those varying goals from various perspectives and carve out pieces that allow us to maximize partnerships and really offers something for everyone at this site. So if you look at this in kind of 3 different sections, you'll see that the west portion of the site closest to Mound Road is heavily programmed with a lot of different activities, but still retains those existing farm structures. The middle portion, which is forested wetland, is intended to be preserved as is, with just minimal trails through the area for walking. And then finally, the back 10 acres, we are holding out for some kind of agricultural use. So we're exploring opportunities for research and startup farming in this space, and those conversations are ongoing. And then the vision that we developed for this site is a community park that's an integral piece of the tri-community recreation system, honors the township's authentic agricultural heritage and natural features, and provides unique opportunities for residents of all ages and abilities to play. So zooming in on the specific features, phase 1 of Hawks Acres Community Park is really intended to grant access to the site. So it's looking at parking, entryway signage, and then the biggest and most important piece is development of that all ages and abilities playground. So that's the section that you see highlighted in yellow on this kind of zoomed in site plan. The initial cost of that phase 1 development is $1.5 million. The DNR grant is for $500,000, so that puts the local match between Washington Township and Parks and Recreation at $1 million. I do want to just touch briefly on future development phases and things that have been envisioned for this site. So you can see labeled as 15, and I know that's kind of small on your screen. For those of you at the table, you have a larger poster up on the table you can refer to and keep here for future reference. But 15 is the perimeter pathway that goes around the park. It's right now mapped at 2.5 kilometers. So 2 laps around would be your 5K for any kind of runs or outdoor events like that you want to host on the site. 13 is intended as orchard space and also an outdoor artist retreat. Number 10 is that pollinator garden, which is one of the pieces that the Romeo Academies program is going to be designing, in addition to 11, which is the dog park. And then you can see we have some uses proposed for different farm structures on the site. Most exciting to Parks and Recreation, I know, is number 8, which is indoor court and pickleball space. And that's the final piece that the Academy students are taking on through their architecture program. So they actually have a class that's going to be looking at how they can repurpose that building and accommodate the court space, and also offer a range of options for heating or for bathrooms or other amenities to be incorporated within that building. So this was one of the questions that came up during our February presentations, and I just want to reiterate, the master plan is conceptual. We wanted to, again, give that vision for what the site could be, but the design of these amenities that are outside of phase 1 can be changed. The intent is really for development of the site to move forward in partnership between Washington Township and Parks and Recreation, and it's expected to occur gradually. We're not, expecting that this site would be developed overnight. It's 27 acres. It's a lot of work, and it's something that we'd continue to apply for grant applications for, kind of year after year, to be able to pick away at some of these amenities. I did provide preliminary cost estimates for some of those extras. I know that was something that the board was interested in seeing. Just so you have that idea, again, this is based on the conceptual plan, but the range in costs could come down. You could switch out different amenities or materials or even scale in order to change up that budget and cost. I wanted to touch a little bit on equal opportunity and social connection and how we're trying to build that into the site design. There were a few things we noted here. One, we're focusing on wide, hard surface pathways to give residents and visitors with all abilities to be able to move through across the site and access the various amenities. We're also looking at wheelchair-friendly seating in a variety of seating types to accommodate different preferences. This grant proposal includes 5 bicycle racks, which are cane detectable. So again, meeting ADA requirements and exceeding. We're looking at inclusive playground equipment for all ages and abilities. That was one of the biggest asks from the tri-community area. And also that playground is expected to feature poured-in-place rubber playground surfacing, which is easier, again, for those with a mobility disability to traverse on. We are including interpretive signage in this first phase, which talks about how different areas on the site can be used. It includes your park rules, in addition to entryway signage and some educational components as well. The site is accessible via vehicle or pathway. So one of the things that's really exciting is this ties in with Washington Township's pathway program. And by the time phase 1 is constructed, you'll actually have continuous 8-foot pathway from the Macomb Orchard Trail all the way to the site. It also is expected to connect into Gilcher Park through some of the existing residential developments in the area. And then finally, this features a variety of activities, indoor and outdoor spaces, and we're expecting it to create some opportunities for volunteers who want to give back to the community and help maintain the space. So this is the detailed cost breakdown. You have this packet in front of you as well, but this is every line item and scope item for that 1.5 million. Approximately 200,000 of that is the engineering permitting work and the grant administration side of things. Land and Water Conservation Fund usually puts that somewhere between 15 and 20% of the overall project. So you would be applying for that and doing it simultaneously with the grant implementation. And then it includes all the things we talked about, which is the playground, the parking, the pathway surfacing to get to the playground and some of the amenities. It includes the bench and table seating, bicycle racks, interpretive signage, and that entryway sign as well. There were some questions that came up about maintenance, and we were able to sit down with the Parks Commission and understand their annual maintenance costs, what's available in the millage, and what they're paying now for comparative facilities. We're estimating that to rent bathrooms for the site and to maintain the site, it's about $20,000 per year, which they felt was well within their budget and is about on par with other parks like Gilcher. So this was the proposed cost share that we presented. You'll see in the resolution, and I know that this is confusing, Land and Water Conservation Fund, even though our total project budget is $1.5 million, they ask us to scale down for the purpose of the application only to $1 million total amount, which means 500,000 local match and 500,000 from MDNR. That does not stop you from putting the extra 500,000 toward the playground equipment, which is the way that we're proposing structuring the application. So the total cost, again, to achieve this is 1.5 million, but when you're looking at the resolution, it adds up to a total of 1 million just for the purposes of the grant. The resolution is something that Land and Water Conservation Fund requires. So the breakdown between the parties currently is Washington Township estimated at 100,000. The Land and Water Conservation Fund, if the grant application is successful, would be 500,000. And then we're asking for 900,000 from the Parks Commission. If the grant is awarded, it has to be accepted by the Township Board. So if for whatever reason the Township Board decides, in the future that it doesn't want to move forward with this project, there's still, one more time where you could pull out before accepting that grant. So it gives you a little bit of flexibility there. But we are asking for a commitment of that local match tonight in the amount of 500,000 split between the township and Parks and Rec. So it's broad in the resolution language so that these amounts can fluctuate as needed. The earliest that construction would begin for phase 1 is fall 2027. Because this MDNR funding is federal grant funding, it takes a little bit longer for it to be awarded and for us to move through that process for construction. So looking at the grant application itself, there are quite a few steps. It's really involved because it's federal funding. We're working through it. Our transmittal of notice of intent went out to our regional entity, who's SEMCOG. So that's taken care of. The next item on your agenda takes care of our Section 106 historic review consultation. And then we have developed the narrative and gathered supplemental materials, including letters of support for the application itself. What we really need tonight from the board is an authorization to proceed. So that's built into the resolution, which I'll show, and then also a commitment to the local match. Tomorrow night, I will be in front of the Parks Commission asking this exact same thing because this grant is being developed in partnership. And the application is due April 1st. Finally, I just wanted to note some of the letters of support that we've received thus far. We have a few more that are outstanding. But Romeo Community Schools has been a great partner in this project. We also received support from the Greater Washington Area Historical Society, from Green Space Romeo, and from Bruce Township. So we're really thankful to those who have lended support to this project. We're excited about it. We hope the board is too. And at this point, I'd love to open it up for questions and public hearing, and then we can talk about the resolution.
So at this point, if the board has questions, but it's a public hearing, the public can come to the podium. Again, state your name and address. Please try to keep it at 3 minutes. If you have any questions on this proposal. And if we should turn the lights on.
Good evening. Carlos Pisano, 58172 Dulwich. This is a great project. Last time when it was first presented, made some notes and waited for this moment to talk about it. I'm, of course, accessibility and it's very important. I agree with that. I do notice that the paving of the paving cost is very high, and I was wondering if any consideration for using gravel, was made. I know I frequent Addison Oaks very often, and it's you can drive and park, and of course you can maybe designate the disabled areas. Maybe that could be paved or concrete or something that it could be accessible, and make everything else accessible on that side. Just looking for ways to maybe use the additional money on other things. That was one observation. The other one is Now I'm confused. Last time I was more focused on having portable toilets. And that was only that conversation about toilets and bathrooms. And I think for a project like this or a park like this, it's important to have running water, especially if you want to have the playground for the kids. They need to have a way to wash if they need to be clean, if they fall and they get injured, they need to have a way to get first aid quickly. There's also the idea of the dog park. So I think running water is important, that's accessible for that. I know that's a higher cost, but again, if you can find different ways to make that right, water is right that we have. So I think everybody should have access to that. I want to have that clarification because just now it wasn't included, or it was in the map. It showed that there's area for seating and restrooms, but then on the cost breakdown on the bottom it said a rental for the portable toilet. So just wondering if there's going to be running water available and at what point. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks.
Would you like me to? Thank you for that question, and I can address that. So for the grant application itself, we are proposing like a paved landing pad for those porta-johns. In this first phase, just construction cost-wise, we can't quite afford it yet. But the goal is to refurbish some of those existing structures on the site to host those bathrooms. We just have to get the barn restoration experts in, and that'll be future phases of Hawks Acres. We can't put the rental cost of the porta potties into the grant application itself because it's an ongoing cost versus like capital improvement. So that's the only reason it's excluded. We had some conversations. There's a really cool company called Throne Labs that's been starting to work in Southeast Michigan. We really wanted to work with them because they do have that running water component, but it's still not like a capital improvement. But the cost estimate we got was really wild. So it was like $180,000 a year for us to do it. So I think long-term we're looking for capital improvement to be able to put in some permanent restrooms in the existing facilities.
Are there restrooms in the house that's on the property?
Mm-hmm.
Could they be utilized in some way?
Well, eventually, we're going to make it an office and bathrooms in the house.
Yeah, right.
But right now, we don't really want people.
It's not ADA compliant right now,
Yeah, we
so
have to
there
work
aren't
on
ramps. Like a wheelchair couldn't navigate to the restrooms that are in the farmhouse right now. So long-term,
But you could have both, right? I mean, you could maybe,
if there's someone that can staff to like be there present in the building to let people in for restrooms, but I think that's one of the challenges.
but that would give them access to running water right now.
Right,
Well-
if there's staff on site during operation hours.
I mean, eventually, we have water accessibility along Mound. We would have DPW bring it in.
Right, but you still got to have a building or something, right?
Well, we got the buildings, we just need to bring them up to code and stuff, so. Again,
No, I was just looking for.
Rome isn't built in a day
looking for
either.
way
I mean,
where we could
gotta-
have running water right now. That's all.
Yeah. There's water. Any other comments from the public? Okay, everybody.
Hi, Cecilia Simonson, 11370 Juliet. Who owns the property to the north, in between of that church and Hawks Acres?
The church.
The church
The
does?
church butts up to it, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Don't think.
Laura Gutnick, 75088 Peters Drive, Bruce Township. Okay, the only concern I would have is the walking trail. For when you said like there could be 5K options, I'd propose not having it go anywhere near the parking lots, not have it cross, especially if it gets paved. Not only do wheelchairs use it, but a lot of mom groups will use it with strollers. So it's nice to not have any access to parking lots. I can't, is that going across the parking lot? Is that what it shows?
No, and I'm sorry, I can't get the slide to move up here, so I can't show. It's up on the table, and I'm happy to discuss after. But right now, the perimeter path is shown tying into the existing pathway that's parallel to Mound Road. So it doesn't cut through parking lots. It does cross two existing access drives where that paved 8-foot pathway currently crosses.
Is that yellow? Is it the yellow and the gray?
It is, the perimeter path is brown shaded on that site.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If I may, there's one more question regarding the water, a lot of good ideas. If we need to renovate the historic buildings, but we can't do that right now, and if we're talking about renting the porta potties for $20,000, Kayla, does that include the little hand washing stations as well with the porta potties? Because some of the ones there are nicer ones that have the hand washing.
Yeah, we're not talking about the little 2x2s out there. It's a nice, like,
It's a bigger
mobile one.
and there is.
Yeah, of course, there's water and sanitation, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, if they're the nicer ones,
Yeah.
they would have some water temporarily.
So that $20,000 a year, just to clarify, is for the rental of porta potties, but also it's for snow plowing, for mowing, for all the maintenance costs out at the site. The porta potty piece is really based on how many of those facilities are at other parks within the Parks and Recreation system and what they cost. So it is I don't believe it includes the hand washing station. It probably includes hand sanitizer, but it is for ADA compliant porta potties. We wanted to make sure that that's what was on the site. So room for a wheelchair to turn around, still not as great as a permanent facility, and that would be what we'd be working towards in the future.
Kayla, I actually got two. We're, I think, in year 2 of our striker agreement with the fire station for the equipment that we lease. And part of that was we get discounts on AED machines. Do you see where that we can try to get at least 1 or 2 in this first phase to place up there in case an incident was going to happen like that?
Yeah, that's a great recommendation. I am not familiar with how they have to be placed if it's on the outside of a structure, but that's something I can follow up with the chief on, and we'll see if we can incorporate it.
Yeah, because we do get the discount for having on the lease, and we have one external here by the tennis courts, so they can put outside.
Thank you.
And the other suggestion I may have is maybe to the board is if we put a township letter together signed by all the board members, like they did for the other schools and everything, to submit with the application.
That would be welcome. It won't, sorry, this sounds terrible. It does not count for points on your grant application, but I think a letter of support would be great.
Any other comments from the public?
Does the house have an outside water spigot? Maybe that could be hooked up to something to provide a place to wash your hands, and even if a child gets injured or something, wash that off, or there?
It has a hose spigot, yeah.
I wonder if something could be adapted to that to make water available.
Possibly, yeah, and we can look at what the rental would cost for just those, what are they called, like pump stations for hand washing, and see what that would add.
Cost, I wonder.
Yeah, and that can be added after too, because again, that part's not included in the grant application for capital costs. So when we're looking at renting porta johns, we can see if there are companies that will provide both for a comparable cost.
Okay.
Any other comments from the public? If not, I'll make a motion to close public hearing. Okay.
My name is Mike Gould. I live on 6993 Wildflower. Just a quick question. Is this a 501c3 structure where you can donate and it's tax deductible? Or is this
this is township owned
project? I mean, it could be a 501c3, right?
I'm not sure. Right now, we're not planning on it being separate from the Parks and Recreation system, so it'd be absorbed under your current parks millage and operations.
Oh, okay. Might be something worth investigating. I mean, then the public could donate, and they'd be motivated because they could write it off on their taxes, especially with the new laws in 2026.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, if the public could do something, maybe some people would want a building or something dedicated to them, and maybe they would pay for some of the stuff.
Yeah, if anybody would like to donate, let us know.
Well, there are people in this township that have a lot of money.
I know the township, you don't have a foundation to accept donations, but there's the community foundation downtown Romeo. I don't know if you guys have ever explored that as an option, but we're happy to.
I know Parks and Rec takes donations for park benches and trees and that kind of stuff, obviously. But yeah, if anybody wants to make a donation, we'll incorporate a 501c for it.
Get you in.
I get this project's not meant to be done. I know you've already said it. Everyone thinks we're doing this in 1 year. This is a good 5 to 10 year project. It's a massive amount of property and everything's very expensive. So we're hoping each year to hopefully get grant funding to help pay for this. If no other comments from the public, otherwise make a motion to close public hearing.
Second?
Seconded by Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. So with that, I'd like to make a motion to authorize Kayla Malden of Spalding the Decker to please process the grant application. Is that the proper way to say it, or?
So there is a resolution.
actual
Again,
resolution.
I recognize that it wasn't in the packet, so I would ask your legal counsel whether or not, if I read it into the record, can there still be a motion on that resolution tonight?
So if you read it, we have to repeat it?
Is it okay if she reads the resolution, or we just say resolution number?
Well, do you know what the text of the resolution is?
It's not.
It was emailed, but it wasn't put in the board packet.
That's fine. You don't need to put it in the board packet if you've all seen it. That's fine.
Okay, then that's fine.
Has everyone seen it? I just want to, okay.
I mean, I'm assuming they read the board packet, yeah. And I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2026-09 to enter in an agreement with the Michigan Department of that's the wrong one. I'm reading off the agenda. To approve the resolution for the proposed MDNR Land and Water Conservation Fund grant application.
Second.
Okay, so motion by Praviti, supported by Stevenson for Resolution 2026-09 to be approved. Any questions on the motion? Otherwise, roll call?
Praviti?
Yes.
Reinhold, pardon me, Stevenson?
Yes.
Reinhold?
Yes.
Mylum?
Yes.
Chaplin?
Yes.
Nicely?
Yes.
Brown? Yes.
Okay, motion passed. With that, there's 2 consultants to hire. One is for $3,750 and one is for $2,000. I included it, it's for Athena Research Consultants, and that's the historical aspect. Correct? There's
Yeah.
2 different work contracts. I don't know if you want to explain.
I can give a quick recap. So that's a requirement. Again, federal funding, which means there are just a set of additional requirements on top of what would normally be included in a grant application. One was that we do environmental compliance work. So we've gone through that process. The second is that we consult a historic consultant and archaeologist to do what's called a Section 106 review. So they prepare materials that get sent into the State Historic Preservation Office for review to ensure that any development that occurs on the site is not disturbing or negatively affecting historical and cultural resources. That has to be done by a certified historian and archaeologist. So that is the contract that's before you. We just need to have someone under contract to do that work before we submit the application. The actual process for completing the historic review will occur over the next couple of months. And we're expected to have our application into SHPO by, I think, September in order to get a result back by October. Happy to answer any questions on that.
Could we update the agreement, because it says effective March 6th, or past March 6th, if we can change the date to today's date at the board meeting?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that should be fine. Yep.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve both agreements, 1 and 2, totaling $57.50 for both agreements, number 1 and number 2, for Athena Research Consultants, to allow the supervisor to sign these agreements. Supported by Nicely. Any questions on the motion? Otherwise, roll call.
Previti.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Brown, yes. Reinhold.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed.
Did you do both of them? There's two of them.
I edited it together, sorry.
Okay.
Just to make it easier.
Mr. Supervisor, do we have to allocate any money tonight, too?
No. So if we are awarded the grant, it'll come back before the board to either accept or deny the grant. So as Kayla said, we'll have another crack at this if we don't agree. Tomorrow night is the Parks and Rec Commission meeting at 6 o'clock. That's at Bruce Township though, right? Not here yet.
Yes, Bruce.
Yeah, it'll be at Bruce Township Hall. If anybody would like to hear Kayla talk again, please feel free to come. Next is item 12.4, Resolution 2026-06. It's the apportionment of uncollected assessments. And this is an annual item. This was presented by our assessing department. It's done every year.
Oh,
It's not?
No, it's not.
That's what I heard today.
No, it's not.
Then you can explain it.
No, it's done when you need to do it. This is an existing special assessment district that was created by the township. Oftentimes, once a special assessment district is created, parcels that were part of the district get split. So for instance, if you owned a 10-acre piece of vacant land and there was a special assessment on it, and you decided to split it off and sell a couple parcels, there's an assessment sitting on top of the property. There's a mechanism under Act 188 which allows you to take your 10-acre piece with your assessment and divide it into however many, 3, let's say. But to do that, the statute requires a board resolution. So Rachel in the assessing department asked me to prepare the resolution. We did one of these last year on a different district. So all this is doing is taking, as Sam said, we do this almost every year.
It feels like.
Except it's the second time you've ever done this. That you're taking 6 parcels, there were 6 original parcels that have been split. Now there's 11. Still the same land. Assessment's the same.
When you split it, you get new additional parcels.
Everything is the same. The numbers are the same. You're going to collect the same amount of money. You're just splitting it from 6 ways to 11 ways on the same land. That's all. So the motion would be to adopt the resolution that's in your packet.
I'll use the example that was given to me last year by Councilor Sieper. You have an apple pie and you're just splitting it up.
It wasn't that simple.
Close enough.
No,
Next year when we do it again.
it may have been that simple.
You did say it. You did
It'll
say
be an annual when we do it again for the 3rd year next year.
Well, I make a motion to approve the resolution 2026-06, apportionment of uncollected assessments.
Support.
Okay, motion by Brown, supported by Reinhold. No questions on the resolution, roll call?
Brown, yes. Reinhold.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Previti.
Yes. Motion passed. Next is 12.5. It's a resolution 2026-07. This is a liquor license recommendation to transfer the liquor license from Jake O'Malley's to Eagles Washington LLC. There's no change in the count of our liquor license availability. It's just a transfer of ownership. The executive committee met on this. We have no issue with this. Then this gets submitted to the state. The police department signed off. Planning and zoning signed off. Basically, there's just a change of ownership of Jake O'Malley's to a new company called Eagles Washington. So if there's no questions, I'll make a motion to adjourn. No, accept.
Like we did with the other two, can we make it that the license stays with the property?
No.
I don't think so
we
because it's
cannot.
already existing.
Yeah, we cannot request an applicant to do that.
Only on a new one?
Yeah, on the new one.
Even on the new one, they have to propose it themselves. But this is a transfer, so that doesn't apply to this. I'm sure that.
We're actually lucky because they could have sold it without the business and we would have lost it. So.
Yeah.
But I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 26-07 for the liquor license transfer of Eagle. Okay, supported by Mylum. No questions. Roll call. Sorry.
Pravidi,
Yes.
Mylum,
Yes.
Stevenson,
Yes.
Reinhold,
Yes.
Chaplin,
Yes.
Nicely,
Yes.
Brown, yes.
Okay, motion passed. Next is 12.6. This is the Greater Washington Area Historical Society. Annually, we've been doing this for probably 30 years. We pick up their heating bill. They have improved the furnace system, so the heating bill has gone down dramatically. They are asking for us to reimburse them $1,209.58 to cover the heating bill cost of last year. Traditionally, this has been a lot higher, so it's been a lot lower. I serve as president of the Historical Society, so I will ask the board if I can abstain from voting on this particular item. So I'll let you guys discuss.
Why would you have to
I don't see that as a conflict.
Well, I'm asking for,
You don't have any, you can abstain if you have a pecuniary interest in it, a financial interest. You don't.
You're
well,
not making a.
I'm an officer of it, I don't know.
It's not, I mean, you can add, it's not a conflict.
Okay.
Make a motion.
Well, I don't want to feel funny to make a motion to.
I'll make the motion to pay $1,209.58 to the Greater Washington Area Historical Society for their bills listed from September 13th, 2024 through June 18th, 2025.
Support.
Who won?
Three-way tie.
Motion by Nicely, supported by Chaplin's son. We'll combine both names.
Son, hold.
If no questions, roll call.
Oh, gosh, that's funny.
You know, Sam, this one we do every year.
This is cracking me up.
Yeah, this one's annual too, yeah.
Chaplin, no. Who
Oh, Nicely.
I'm
Sorry.
see, you made me laugh. I got it. Gosh. Sorry about that. Okay. Nicely,
Yes.
Chaplin,
Yes.
Mylum,
Yes.
Reinhold,
Yes.
Stevenson,
Yes.
Pravidi.
I'm voting yes, but only because you guys said I could vote for it. so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Brown,
Well,
yes.
It's like the judge not ruling on a case. The judge knows every person in the community is local.
Yeah. So on behalf of the Greater Washington Area Historical Society, we'd like to thank everyone for helping our expenses. Next is 12.7, Township camera upgrade. I do have Rob Wisniewski here if anyone has questions on the camera system. It has been brought to our attention. I actually wrote a statement I'd like to read if the board's okay with that. As supervisor, my primary responsibility is the safety of our employees, residents, and everyone who enters the township property. In today's environment, one of the first questions law enforcement asks during an incident is always simple: do you have cameras? That is no longer an optional item. It is a basic expectation. I want to be very clear. It is my job as supervisor to protect the township. That responsibility includes the lives and safety of residents, visitors, employees, and everyone who frequents this building and its property 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. When I hear the statement suggesting that public safety is not my job, I strongly disagree. It is not only my job, but it's my role. It is one of the most important responsibilities I have. This facility is not a township, just a township office. It's a multi-use public space that is active well beyond normal hours. We have a workout facility and dance studio operating all hours in the basement. We have evening and weekend board meetings, HOA meetings, classes, seminars, community groups that meet here. We even have a church group every Sunday here using the senior center and the township hall. Our park is active at all hours with residents using the pickleball and tennis courts, families bringing their children to play, people walking their dogs. We have even installed an outdoor AED station a couple years ago to support the safety of residents using our recreational facilities, which have been successful in saving 2 lives. The addition of cameras, including license plate recognition, which is up for tonight's discussion, is a logical and necessary step. These types of camera systems are widely used throughout our community in local churches, businesses, and even the Lions Club next door. In fact, we have had to rely on the Lions Club footage at times depending on camera angles, which only reinforce the need the township to have its own complete and reliable coverage. To be clear, this is not about surveillance overreach. There will be no facial recognition, no audio recording in accordance with our union agreement with the union staff that we have here at the township. All cameras are in just open areas. No employees or their workstations are recorded. This is strictly video for safety and investigative purposes. We have experienced real incidents which I really didn't want to expand publicly, but being called out, I'd like to explain. We've had individuals falling in the lobby where it was unclear whether it was medical or something more serious, which without the cameras we wouldn't even have noticed. We've had parking lot situations where we needed to determine if an injury involved another party or not. Reports of indecent exposure and stalking. We've had aggressive individuals confronting staff both during and after hours. In one case, an unruly person at the counter was required intervention right here from a command officer who was luckily in the building at the time. And the video footage was critical in documenting what occurred. Many of these incidents have resulted in the same issue, the inability to clearly identify a license plate to locate or hold the responsible individual accountable. Without proper cameras, resolving in these situations is far more difficult. Again, these are not insulated issues. These disrupts operations. This takes hours to address and requires immediate response. This role that I have proudly take is not a 9-to-5 job. These incidents occur at all hours, and I am not just sitting around watching cameras as has been implied. This is about having the ability to review footage when needed, assist law enforcement, and ensure accountability and transparency. I also want to address these cameras were upgraded. We've always had cameras in the building. Parks and Rec is also including them. We've had vandalism and various items. It's been twisted that these cameras are being put in my office and the treasurer's office. That's not true. It is for a TV monitor, so the staff can feel comfortable per this request of the union and the staff to have additional monitors so they can see the cameras as well, and that's part of this package. The problem is every time we have an incident back there, whether it's vandalism or worse, we try to zoom in on the license plate and we can't get a definite license plate, and the police can't do anything. Telling them it's a black Jeep is not helping anything, or if it's a white Cutlass Sierra or whatever car it is. So I'm fine whatever way the board wants to vote on this. This is a recommended upgrade by our provider to help us. It's only for the outside cameras, which is common area. The inside is obviously well monitored visually, so we don't need to upgrade those cameras. But I invited Rob here to kind of explain the cameras if anybody's got questions and about the system. That's all I have to say right now. This moment, anybody that knows me, I don't work 9 to 5. I'm not the supervisor that goes home at 5 and shuts off everything. I'm answering emails all hours of the night. I answer messages on all sorts of social media and both business and unbusiness related. I feel like I'm very hands-on and I take my job seriously, and I don't appreciate the negative comments I received over this just to keep the building safe and our property safe.
Hey, Sam, can I ask that though? I agree with everything you're saying. I think the rest of the board agrees with everything you're saying. So in the essence of time, can we just ask if we have some questions instead of having him sell us? Because I agree with everything you're saying.
It's not that he's to sell, it's more technical questions.
Yeah. So
We agree. I mean, we know we need the help, okay? We need the help in the parking lot. So
what does the upgrade accomplish for us?
The upgrade helps sift through the cameras, the recordings, easy, so they don't have to spend hours going through. That's what a lot of the AI does, is it tracks. It does do some facial recognition, but this is an in-house system. Any governmental facility that we put cameras in have to be NDAA compliant. That means the government has to approve it. And we don't put this online for other companies to view or harvest your data or anything else. The township will have complete control, just like now. They have complete control of the system. They'll be able to extend the time frame of recordings to 40 days or less. We don't ever recommend going past 35 days because of the fact that, if something happens, you're going to catch it within that 30 days. And we say 35 because at the end of the month, we don't want it to erase if something happens right then and there. So it overwrites itself. It's all internal. It's on its own network, is not connected to the township network, is separate from there, so it doesn't slow down. Any of the data doesn't slow down your network. And it keeps with government regulations of you shouldn't really have IP cameras on your data network. So when we came in, we pulled the original system that was in here that was non-compliant, pulled it out, started out with just the cameras for the elections. And then they seen what the cameras looked like for the elections, and that's how it just started to compile more. And maybe we ought to get them done here and so forth. So there is no data harvesting. Nobody's going to want to buy Sam's picture or whatever. So it's double the amount of view. So it's 4K, which is 8 megapixels. So that means when somebody's dumping into the dumpsters that's not supposed to be, that I got a call for on one day saying, hey, we need to look at the cameras because it looks like somebody was illegal dumping. It was hard to see because it's way far away. So with more megapixels, you'll be able to clear in a lot closer and get a lot more detail. And then once again, the license plate readers will be focused at the output of every vehicle that comes out. And it'll help with the election thing too.
So there'll be additional cameras that we don't have now?
So we're adding 4 and the other ones are being replaced. Because of the system we're upgrading the amount of data that's going to be put on the server. We have to update the hard drives as well. And this system doesn't rely on as much as the software as it does its own internal software. It doesn't rely on Apple or Windows when they update all the time. So that you don't have to worry about that. That'll stay on and everything else. And it's all battery backup too. So if the power goes out, you'll be able to catch things in that way too.
Somebody said all the system is only 6 years old right now. Is that the cameras have improved that much, or we just didn't spend the money on the
cameras? Improve almost every month. I'm not sure there's not one person in here that has a phone that's more than 3 years old.
Okay.
I mean, I'm looking for the 19th.
If you do get a new camera, new phone, you'll see the pictures are much better.
It's a huge difference, and it will help a lot. I am a member of the Lions Club. Our cameras are the same ones, the high resolution AI. I think it was 2:30 in the morning this alarm was going off. It alerted me that the alarm on your generator was going off. Immediately I call people in contact, and we were able to go over there and check and make sure nothing was on fire or anything like that. It was just a overflow sensor or something simple. So it does quite a bit. It has loud noise detection. So if a gunshot goes off, it can collect loud noises. Sirens, somebody falls down the steps here by the elevator, somebody's screaming, help me, it'll pick that up. And it'll alert Sam at 3 in the morning. Anybody who wants to be on there.
The question about the AI question was,
was
very valid because I've been at the MAMC conference this week, Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks, and one of our sessions was 4 hours on AI, using ChatGPT, Canva, Claude, and other platforms to do presentations, and they showed us how to do it, and it was really cool, really fast. I'm like, oh my gosh, so awesome.
ChatGPT is great.
So great.
What's AI?
But what I'm saying is that they warned us that you can use these, but you have to make sure that it's not where it's going. Because anytime you do an AI presentation, you have to be, but you said yours is self-contained.
So the AI is only used in making the machine work better.
Correct.
It's not seeing Audrey's face and going out to governments or other places and say, hey, Audrey's here. It's only to use with that system. So it's not an outreach of AI.
Okay.
That's what the AI does. It helps it work better. And plus, the system has more capability so that when Parks and Recs, we were working with them on when they do the gazebo and cameras on the pickleball courts, tennis courts, the play structure, apparently there were some issues out there. I don't know exactly what was on, but this system will be able to handle it. The city or the township has already put in a conduit from the building over to that area in place already, so.
Now, these ones that we have, Rob, are about 2 years old, correct?
No,
No,
they're
they're
more
older
than
than
2
that?
years old, yeah.
I thought they were.
Um,
I'm talking about the election cameras, maybe a couple of years old?
When did, I'm trying to remember, it's got to be at least 4 or 5, 6 years old, I think, yeah.
6 years.
Right around there.
I also want to say, we keep mentioning election. There's no capability of zooming in on that.
Oh, yeah,
There's
the
around,
state requires
but I
cameras
thought-
on every ballot drop now.
well, the ballot drop box.
Ballot drop box.
Yeah, that's what it's
No,
on.
no, I'm talking about when they come in the vote. there's
No, when the
little
elections
thing.
are on, the cameras are disconnected physically.
Yeah.
Yep. That was, we come in right before elections, same thing with the Lions Club, where anybody's voting, those cameras are shut off.
But they have to be on the drop boxes 75 days prior to an election.
Correct.
So they're turned on. for the
Correct.
drop
And we're
boxes.
updating the cameras for that as well.
How's that controlled? I'm just curious.
What's that?
The cameras are turned off. Who does that?
Anybody that's going to be an admin on the system. And the nice thing is each person will have their own account and we'll know or the system will know who goes in and researches. So if there's an issue and you're like, well, this person's the issue, why is this person going in trying to erase it? Or why is this person going in looking at it? It'll let everybody know that's on there. Nobody can hide things either.
Okay, but I mean, as far as turning them off for elections, whose responsibility is that?
Well, they just call me and we come in and unplug them.
We usually just text them when we have problems. He comes in.
Yeah, and every election, when the new ones were put in, we go in and click them off. And I'm responsible for the ones next door.
And they can't be, for the drop boxes, they can't be a camera that scans like an entire building. Like we have one at the fire station, two. And it can't be like a scanner of the whole building. It has to be trained right on that drop box.
There has to be a fixed camera, yes.
Right.
Correct.
Just so you know, they can't, it has to be continuous on the drop box.
Yeah, right now there's 180 degree, but once again, when you get in 180 degree, you distort the picture all the way out to the outsides. So we're going to have a higher definition camera so that we can look on the outsides too.
And
pick
the
up
other
license
drop
plates.
box is at the township hall, so we have two where the cameras are.
You at the fire station and here and, where was the other one?
Two, just the here and the drop box at the fire station.
Fire station, yeah.
Two. Mhm.
Any other questions?
Ready for a motion?
Yeah, I guess.
All right, I'll make the motion to approve the camera upgrade quote from RMW Productions LLC in the amount of $29,528.20 to take effect in the 26-27 fiscal year.
Support.
Okay, that's a motion by Stevenson, supported by Reinhold. Any questions on the motion? Otherwise, roll call.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Mylum.
Yes.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Nicely.
At first, I was against it, and then there was an incident that occurred over it when I was on patrol at the Sterling Fest, where somebody threw a firecracker. And the only way they caught him was through the ability through this AI, so I'm going to say yes.
Brown, yes. Praviti.
Yes. Okay, motion passed. Thanks, Ron.
By the way, it's my 30th anniversary in this township. Just like restaurants get,
Happy anniversary.
Wow, happy
just like
anniversary.
restaurants give 30% off, can I get 30% off my taxes?
If we get 30, can we get 30% off this?
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
Well, it is for having you here.
30th anniversary of having you.
Thanks.
You don't have to pay your taxes. They'll come and find you.
Thank you.
Okay, Next is 12.8. I issued like an emergency purchase order on a waterworks material. Our DPW director, or semi-retiring now, Richard Amormino, brought this matter to my attention. It's material that we always use. It's from AY McDonald Manufacturing. They were implementing a 7% price increase. It was effective March 5th. It missed the last board meeting. So I asked for this to be approved to save this about $7,000 to $8,000. But now I'm bringing it back to the board for approval. Rich can explain what the material is better than me. I don't want to misquote it.
This is all for water taps for all new housing.
Yeah.
And it's on the big sizes mainly. We have a couple subdivisions that are all be using these 2-inch parts. And we bought it from the same manufacturer that we always do. Sorry, we didn't get it to you quicker. But I wasn't going to let the money, we're budgeted for it. And it's better to save the money on it, I think.
So I just need a motion to formalize if you guys are okay with this.
Yeah, motion to approve the emergency purchase of the waterworks materials by Gunners, Meters, and Parts in the amount of $67,386.
Support.
Motion by Chaplin, supported by Milam. Sorry, she beat you. No questions, roll call.
Chaplin.
Yes.
Milam.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Nicely.
Yes.
Praviti.
Yes, motion passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry about what's happening. Sorry. Next is 12.9. As some of you have been hearing in the news, Lansing is trying to take away local control of communities in the planning and zoning area. Currently, there's about several bills being presented before state legislature. I had Bob draft up this resolution similar to other communities. I'm hoping the board to approve this resolution to oppose these Michigan bills. They're listed below 5529 through 5532 and 5581 through 5585. I don't know if you wanted to explain it or no, there's nothing really to elaborate on.
There's 9 different bills. They all do different things. The bottom line is they are attempting to take away your ability for lot sizes, all sorts of local zoning. Again, I did an analysis of all 9 of them. It's not that interesting. But the bottom line is that they want to preempt the field in a number of areas. And they give you your zoning authority, and what they give you, they can take away. And this bill is out there, and I know the MTA is opposing it, and the MTA's got lobbyists, and I would, the likelihood of this passing, who knows? But I know a lot of communities are adopting resolutions to send to your various legislators to oppose it. It's not, there's no legal impact to it, but it lets those people know that Washington Township is against these.
So we need a motion then for this?
Yeah, to adopt the resolution.
All right, I'll make the motion to adopt the resolutions. Charter Township of Washington Board of Trustees hereby adopts Michigan House Bills 5581, 5582, 5583, 5584, and 5585. Should I say?
5529, didn't you know?
There's 3 more.
Yep, I'm getting
Sorry.
They're on the
There's
next
3 more.
page.
There's 3 more.
Sorry.
Oh, there are.
Yep.
29 through.
And then, we got 359?
Yeah, 5529.
5529.
Okay, I lost it on the next page, but, so 5529, 5530, 5531, 5532, 5581, 5582, 5583, 5584, and 5585.
Second.
Thank you.
So that's a motion to approve Resolution 2026-10 by Milam, supported by Brown. If any questions, roll call.
Milam.
Yes.
Brown. Yes. Chaplin.
Yes.
Nicely.
Yes.
Praviti.
Yes.
Stevenson.
Yes.
Reinhold.
Yes.
Okay, motion passed. Thank you.
Mr. Siebert, I got a question. With the planning and zoning looking at this data center and this going on with the state, is that going to affect anything that we're doing right now?
No, there's nothing to do with it.
does feel good, though. It feels like we're doing things to be proactive instead of reactive when we do stuff like this. So thank you, Sam, for bringing this to our attention.
No, thanks. Just in like layman's terms, they're trying to find a cookie cutter approach to every community in Michigan by, let's say, 4 lots per acre. But again, we don't have water and sewer in every area of our township, so putting 4 per acre, obviously, septic fields wouldn't support it. So again, the state's trying to like impose like a one shoe fits all kind of thing, and it's just not working. There's a lot more, obviously, infrastructure involved that before you can just start imposing this kind of. With that, comments from audience on non-agenda or agenda items or anything, you have 3 minutes. Please state your name and address. Feel free to come to the podium.
Oh, the trees.
No, that was a typo I explained. That was for Hawks Acres. Sorry.
Okay.
It should have said Hawks Acres.
No, next week.
Yeah, you pulled any motions going once.
Oh, here we go.
So this is
Yeah.
this is non-agenda.
It's open, yeah.
Yeah.
Sam,
Agenda, non-agenda.
Open
why are
mic.
we doing both? Didn't we do the other one at the beginning of the meeting?
Yeah, it's kind of a free comment. But it's fine.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
So this is not an agenda item, but it's about the agenda itself. Going through the website and looking at the meeting minutes and agenda packet, it gets amended very often prior to this meeting. And it gets a little confusing catching up with what's updated from the previous thing that maybe you checked 3 days ago, 4 days ago, whatever, leading up to this time. So an idea I have is maybe you post the first agenda, and once you made an amendment, maybe the updates that you make it highlighted in a different color. The letter, that way, if you check something and nothing has changed, you don't have to go through the whole package and find out what's different, what's new, and all that. And also, there's more transparency about what's new, what's different leading up to right now. And I don't know how prior to 6:30 you can amend the agenda, because maybe you're on your way here, something changed, and then you missed that information. So that was just an idea to consider.
Thank you.
No, I agree. There needs to be consistency because it's changed 3 or 4 times since Friday on that, and it's hard to keep up with the program.
That's why we get paid the big bucks.
Well, the goal
Any other-
for the clerk's office is that we have the agenda done, the items in by Thursday at 5 o'clock. And we do meet with the supervisor to create the agenda. This was an unusual case. There were a few items that
Normally, we
came
don't
in.
do that yet.
I know, but
Yeah.
some items came in, and I agree, it was not what we intended at all. But we don't mean for it to be confusing, but items came into the supervisor and things changed. And our goal going forward is to keep with our 5 o'clock on Thursday deadline and publish it on Friday and keep it that way. And for everyone's sake, for the board, for the public, and that is our goal. This was a very unusual thing. We're sorry if it was confusing.
The only
It's
items
not the
we
intent.
changed was this Athena research, which went along with Hawks. I needed to prove that it was time sensitive.
Right.
And this resolution for the House bill I added,
Right.
only because our next meeting's not until April 15th, so we were trying to get everything done.
No, you're correct, though. That's not, it should be very written in stone as much as we
If you
can.
do make a change like that, it'd be nice to let them know just what the change is, so they don't have to reread everything. Follow what I'm saying? So if-
I do.
Is there any other comments from the audience? Next is elected officials update, community announcements. We have Clara here from Parks and Rec, but this Friday is our Easter egg scramble back here. It's at 6 o'clock? Yeah, it's here in our municipal park. So everybody's welcome to come. There's an Easter egg hunt back here. April 10th, the Washington Township Historical Society, we're doing our 199th anniversary dinner. It's at the Abbey. This event, I've been doing this the last few years on behalf of the Washington Museum. We're building up to our 200th anniversary next year. We're honoring retired Judge Honorable Dennis LeDuc as Lifetime Achievement Award. Pam Geddart, she's our youth ambassador. She works with the surf program at Romeo High School. Fran Salvatore is our Community Supporter Award. She's the owner of Pamela's Catering. She supports many nonprofits here in our township. The Allward family has the Centurion Award. They're obviously one of the local families that have been here forever. We're honoring the Washington Methodist Church as Organization of the Year. They've actually been here longer than the township, over 200 years. And Metro Electric is our Business of the Year, Joe Brewer. So if anybody's interested, there's flyers out there. We hope to see everyone there. We have a great menu and band and everything there.
Can you give us the date again, please?
Sorry, yeah, Friday, April 10th. Doors open at 6, dinner at 7. There's music by Wayward Wind. We have raffles, a photo booth, and music, and appetizers, dessert, everything. Oh, yeah. So it is next week. Next week, our system is BSNA.
2 weeks.
It's in 2 weeks?
April 6th.
No, but next week we start the training. Next week, if anybody does come in here, please be patient with staff. We're going to begin onboarding and training of our new software. We're going to the new BSNA cloud. Our current BSNA is no longer supported by BSNA, so a lot of communities are converting over this year and next year. So next week we're going to have staff, representatives from BSNA teaching every department the new software. And then April 6th, we go live. We're going to do a delayed start to the public at noon. So the staff has a few hours in the morning to work on getting ready for going live. Friday, though, April 3rd is Good Friday. We're closed to the public in observance of Good Friday. But April 6th, we go live. So if you do come in here, please be patient with staff and ourselves as we get accustomed to the new software. It's going to be hopefully not as bumpy road as we're hoping for. How did you guys have?
Just want to say thank you for everybody who participated in St. Baldrick's on Saturday. It was a great turnout. Over 150 people shaved their heads. I don't have the dollar amount that was raised, but they did a great job with them to try to bring the awareness for Kids for Cancer, to support them and their families while they're going through a challenging time. So thank you for everybody that helped and participated, donated, and got their heads shaved.
Oh, is that what you did?
Yep, yes, what I did.
I could not resist.
Yeah, I could. I got you. On Friday, April the 3rd, that's going to be the annual crosswalk. It's going to start over at Woodside Church at 32 and Campground. Thank you very much. And it's going to go throughout the Romeo community churches and end up at the Abbey. So if you get an opportunity, it's a great event to participate in. And just want to wish everybody happy Easter and look for those eggs when you find them, I guess. So good.
And as I stated earlier, I've been in Mount Pleasant Sunday, but I drove back for the meeting today, and I'm going back tomorrow morning very early. But I'm at the Michigan Association of Municipal Clerks Institute Clerk School, and there are it's very interesting, second-year clerk school, and there are over 1,600 local clerks in the state. So in the session that I'm in, there are 150 clerks there, and some are township clerks, city clerks, village clerks. It's very interesting, all different sizes and just different types of municipalities and what they do. So we've had sessions on understanding the legislative process, of course, elections, FOIAs, budgeting, managing generational differences with our staffs, election updates, just a lot of things, FOIAs and cemeteries, a lot of things that clerks do. And it's very interesting to see some municipalities have, for instance, Grand Rapids, the city of Grand Rapids has, they have 79 voting precincts. We have 7. They have 79, but they consolidated down to 59, so they're consolidating lower numbers. and we have 7. Other places have 1 voting precinct. They're very small. But everyone's doing their job in the different iterations of being a clerk, and we learn a lot from other people, and it's very, very worthwhile. Thank you.
Wednesday, March 25th is at 3 o'clock will be our budget amendments and budget adoption here at Township Hall. It's open to the public. March 31st, Pete Lucido will be here with the scams update. It's a program, not him doing a scam, at 10 a.m. That came out really bad.
I liked it.
So anybody would like to come here, he'll be here from 10 a.m. to noon. He gives over an informative speech on seniors and different scam things that they do to help prevent any type of scamming. Gotta save myself on that one.
Oh, can I have one more real quick?
Yeah.
I'm sure, Claire, I didn't want to miss this one. If you have any interest, the Daddy-Daughter Dance is coming up on April the 7th. It's going to be held at Big Apple. It's a great event for your kids to be with your dad or your mom. This year, the theme is Willy Wonka. So if you get an opportunity and you want to bring your kids and your daughters and your sons, please do so. It was a great event last year, and I'm sure it will go on again great this year. You're welcome.
One last, I want to wish Art Grimes a happy 90th birthday. He just celebrated his birthday. He's a former trustee and fireman in our community. So, with that, we have no correspondence. I'd like to make a motion to go in closed session to consult with Township Attorney regarding trial or settlement strategy in connection with a specific pending litigation in the matter of 61400 Van Dyke LLC versus Washington Township et al. Macomb County Circuit Court docket number 25-004661-AA pursuant to Section 81E of the Open Meetings Act.
Second.
Seconded by Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Still not. Okay. I make a motion to go into open session.
Second?
Seconded by Audrey Brown. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Any other motions?
So what? Specifically, could you state
Yeah,
the issue again so we can?
I think the board's options are to make a motion to direct township attorney to approve the proposed settlement discussed in closed session, or the motion would be to direct the township attorney to reject the settlement discussed in, proposed settlement discussed in closed session.
Before the motion, I'd like to be abstained from this vote since the, how do
Motion
I
to
say
allow the
it?
supervisor to recuse?
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed.
Why is he being?
Because,
You have to say why. You've
well,
recused yourself.
you guys all jumped in.
You've
I've said it
recused
before.
yourself already from this matter, but to be clear, people may not have seen the prior.
So the person in question has mentioned me in a lawsuit on another similar building in another community that he has several lawsuits on, and I'm abstaining myself.
Yeah, but the fact he's involved in litigation in another community doesn't give you, that somehow you have an interest, there's an interest.
Yeah, I don't want it to imply that I have an interest, so I'd like to be absolved.
No.
You said it for me last time, how do I say
No, I
it?
said it for you, but you know what the interest is. I don't. Isn't your father-in-law involved in some litigation with him or somebody?
Yes, he's suing several people, and one is my father-in-law,
There you go.
and he
Now
mentioned me in the thing,
that's
so
the
I don't want my vote to be considered impartial one way or the other, so I'm asking to be taken off the vote again.
That's adequate.
Does anyone make that motion or I make the motion to?
I second it.
Okay, second by Madam. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you.
I'm sorry, who made the motion?
Sam made the motion, I second.
Got it, thank you. Mhm. Yep. Thank you. Okay, to recuse, okay. All right. 16.1.
I'll make the motion to accept the proposal presented to us in closed session.
Second.
Support. Okay, Audrey supported. Thank you, Audrey.
Thank you. Mhm.
What do I say? Motion by Nicely, supported by Brown. Any questions? Otherwise, roll call.
Chaplain,
Yes.
pardon me, excuse me.
okay, don't worry about it.
Sorry, Mike,
Don't worry about it.
it's been a long day.
Don't worry
Sorry,
about
Mike. Nicely,
Yes.
Brown, yes. Chaplain,
Yes.
Mylum,
Yes.
Reinhold,
You know, I strongly oppose this project, but CJ's probably better than the alternative. So I guess I'll say yes.
okay. Stevenson?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, motion passed 6-0. Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Support?
Supported by Nicely. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passed. Thank you, everyone. Happy Easter.